Hello and welcome to Goa 365's Face to Face. This double tracking issue has been rocking the state, especially the south. The government says it's for it, the people say we don't want it, we don't need it. Business is divided, some say we really don't need it at this present moment. The people are upset because they think it's for coal. But the whole issue is that a very large section of that area through which the double tracking do not want it. This is what we have been getting for some time now. Now with us is Arvind Menezes. He is a friend of mine from long back, and he has been on the ground against this double tracking in his area. Arvind, welcome to Goa 365. Welcome to our show.
Thank you, Glenn.
Before we start, I would like to ask you, how did you get into opposing this double tracking?
You see, yes, I have been out for a very long time, out of the country, and the love for Goa and India brought me back home. And when I saw what was going on and I got to understand what's happening, that's when I said, no, I have to get out there and try and see what we can come out of it. Because there are certain things that we would definitely expect our government and the people in authority to do for the benefit of Goa. And there are certain things which we find and we've come to know that they are doing, which is not very conducive for us.
You were also part of the SEZ movement, anti-SEZ movement, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yes, I was there. We had other people with us who were up in the forefront also, and by sheer virtue of persistence and follow-ups, we managed to actually stall the SEZs, which was bad, which was going to be bad for Goa.
Correct. Yeah. Okay. Now see. Okay, fine. Okay, this is a reason. It's a valid reason. Now, I would like to know what is the status of this double tracking now in your areas, which people are agitating against.
You see, firstly, we've got to get down to what is the double tracking all about and how did it come up.
Okay.
Per se, it was a proposal that came up when mining was at its peak, and it was basically to get iron ore from Hospet and Lakiali, and the proposal was there. Fortunately, unfortunately, mining went into a tizzy and the whole thing was shelved. Now, the way we have come to know about it is that the whole double tracking is totally concentrating on coal. You see, MPT was running on iron ore.
Correct.
That was the main business there at MPT.
Correct.
Which went off, and a decision was taken to lease out parts of MPT to private entities dealing specifically in coal.
Cool. Correct.
The whole issue is that this double tracking is being done just to keep 2 or 3 private organizations happy and to satisfy their greed and want for more. The way we look at it internationally, coal is something that is already being stopped, and especially I relate to coal-powered power plants.
Yes.
When the whole world is going the other way with alternate energy, I think our government should be a little smarter, and instead of promoting coal-based power plant, which is what's happening, let's look at alternate. And now with the whole coal, the whole issue is coming down to the Tanmar project, for which coal will be taken, power generated to power the Tanmar, which will power the trains that are going to be going across taking coal. You understand the whole thing?
It's an ecosystem within itself.
Completely, which is not healthy for us.
Okay.
Which is not healthy. We were also told, yes, the railway track was done a long while ago when the Portuguese were there and nobody objected. Yes, I don't deny it. It was there, it was done by them. But it was done during that time where the whole place was less populated, consideration was taken on nature, sustainability was taken into consideration. Now we say the environment impact has been done, the assessment has been done. But you know, it boils down to basic trust and confidence in the governance. We have lost it. And we have all the reasons to lose it.
Okay, let's get into that a little later. What I want to know right now is, what is the status of this double tracking project and this, you know, they are going to broaden the highway. But basically, you guys are agitating against the double tracks, right?
Yes.
What is the status, the actual status on the ground as of now?
You see, the machinery we are dealing with is just bulldozing us.
But what is this machinery?
The government.
Central.
The central government.
Okay.
There has been no consideration or opinion or advice taken from the locals.
Okay.
The local government, our government in Goa, is a spineless government.
Okay.
There's nobody who can take a positive decision.
Okay.
Nobody who can come out in front of us and face us and say, this is what we are doing it for, this is what we are proposing. No, it is just run down without any local concern. And I feel that the government today is a government that has been brought in power by we the voters. And it is our right as voters to be taken into consideration for whatever. We have approached our local MLA. My local MLA is Babashan, but what are we getting out of it? Wilfred Desa.
And what happened on that?
Yes, when we approach, he says, yes, I'm against the 3 linear projects, I'm against coal. But when it comes to speaking up, nobody speaks up.
Why?
You see, the whole thing is puppet on a string.
He says there's a whip, and if he says, then he will not be able
Where is the whip? Where is the whip? And who has issued the whip? I don't believe there's a whip at all. And the answer given was that because there was a whip, he actually moved out when the voting time comes. But the whip also says that you should be present when the voting happens.
Correct.
So what is happening? There's nothing. I mean, they don't have a spine. They don't have a spine.
Okay.
They can't face us.
Okay. Exactly. Status now. What is the status?
Project is on. We are trying our level best.
Work is on.
Work is on.
Okay.
And work is on in a very bad manner where they're not even considering nature.
Okay.
There is, the other day we were in Girdoli. The river has been filled up. Trees have been not cut, but thrown away by the dozers into someone's property.
Okay.
Sluice gate has been knocked down. And when we went there, the engineer was there, Sahu. He says There was nothing over here. There is some backwater. I said, so you are trying to tell me that the locals over here are lying when I can see a sluice gate that is maybe centuries old? I said, the problem is you have not come on site to check what is going on.
Okay.
There is no control. When I put the question, you all are doing, why didn't you, instead of filling and breaking this, put stilts and take it over that? You know, the cost will go up. And if it is cost is going high, tell the guys for whom you're doing it to pay for it.
So basically, wait, now this is a very interesting point, Arvind. Now, what basically you're saying, you may not be saying it in as many words, or the government engineers may not be saying in as many words, but you're saying that a lot of this work is being done haphazardly, fine, that's a given. But it's been done like this because they do not want to take the trouble, as in monetarily or financially or work-wise, to take care of nature because of monetary gains. Is it ultimately they are doing the work the way they are doing because of this? Is this what I understand from you?
I asked them, have you taken permissions from WRD, from forest? Oh, railways doesn't require you to take permission. I said, says who? Under which clause don't you require permission when you're doing a project? There was no answer.
Okay.
Next day there was a meetup at the Panchayat, and subsequently, if you have read it, WRD has asked them what permissions they were taken.
What I'm saying is, why don't you all want the double tracking? Why don't you all want? See, coal, okay, fine, it's polluting this, but double tracking, they say it will. The CMS said very clearly, no, it's not for coal, it's for a variety of other things. Don't you think that this project, this coal project, if you take coal out, is for the good of the people? This is a hard question, but what is your take on this specific thing?
You see,
what are the problems you foresee in all this thing when it comes up?
As far as traveling by rail, yes, we have the Konkan rail that's running through Goa, which again we had at that time brought an objection, asking or rather requesting for it to be taken in the hinterland, which was never considered. Okay, they filled things, they did everything their way. We can still see a lot of places getting waterlogged because of the Konkan railway. We lost there. This track per se, double tracking going to Vasco, Marmagua, which they have given some statistics that it will help in passenger movement. Honestly, what are the passengers that are traveling from Vasco on that track today? And how many trains do we have in a day? 3?
3, no?
Yes. What more do you want? And who are you putting it for? That you say it's for the passengers' benefit. And from Vasco, where are you going to go with the train? You're eventually meeting up at the Kasauli structure and going off on the Konkan railway. So how far is Vasco to this area for people to come if they really want to travel by train? So these reasons given are very vague. Then we were told it's for military movement. Wow, that's also interesting. What military movement do you want to do? No, we've got threats from China. Also interesting. You know, the problem is that earlier the governments were dealing with people who were naive. Today, education levels in Goa are changed.
Yes. Correct.
People are well instructed, and thanks to the internet, we have Uncle Google who gives everything.
Correct.
So anything and everything is available to the public. So you cannot fool people. You can try and misguide them, which is what they are doing. But that goes to a certain point, beyond which people will not keep quiet. And do you really think our government is going to take any measures to penalize them and hold them? No way. The government is not in a position to penalize anybody other than individuals.
Okay.
Other than individuals. And all this is happening just for the benefit of the pockets. It has happened in SEZ. We know exactly, and we've got the figures. leave it. Let us not talk about that. But even in this is the same thing. Same thing. And government cannot get coal from the areas in the north because they are tribal areas. We've got a lot of coal in India. Importing coal from Australia, where Mr. Adani has also had a lot of things to fight out.
He's got trouble there. But
Yes, he had a lot of trouble there. Instead of getting it straight up and dropping it down into Karnataka,
correct.
they choose to bring it right around the bay into Goa. Why Goa?
Why? Why? You know, do you?
Because getting it from there, from Calcutta or wherever those areas down to Karnataka, the cost against the cost of getting it into Goa
By ship
and moving
and-
into Karnataka by rail, the difference comes to, if I'm not mistaken, it's about 20-24 rupees a ton.
Okay.
Now, in those millions of tons, 24 is a big figure per ton. But for the sake of 24 rupees a ton, you want to destroy Goa? Someone should open their eyes. What is Goa? What is Goa known for? Tourism. You are getting coal inside. Where's the tourism going to happen? The port has got ships that come in, passenger liners.
Yeah.
Do you really think with the coal dust over there flying around, the passenger liners are going to want to come to Goa? Forget it. Forget it. Rather, go in for an infrastructure development for a better terminal over there for tourism. Capitalize on what we have.
You mean both things, coal as well as this tourism, will not, according to you, will not function? It will be difficult?
You see, we're getting on a different topic of
No,
tourism.
but
what I'm trying to tell you is that
I'm talking juxtaposing both.
nah,
Cannot happen together.
we
my
will
point.
we will have tourism per se as of now, at least for the next 15 years. Tourism is going to
Domestic.
happen,
You're talking
but
domestics.
that will be domestic. That will not be the type of level of tourism that is going to really give the
Locals.
people involved in this tourism activities earnings. We have already seen, we have stopped them in Lotoli, in Rasai. They were filling mud when we asked them for what? To do the ban. Ban for whom? The whole thing is Rasai, one jetty go down for coal, stocking coal. We don't want that. Believe me, work started majorly in the lockdown when people were locked in the houses. Nobody was around, but this was going on rampant.
So a lot of this work you feel happened
Yes.
in the lockdown.
Rather, it progressed.
Quicker because people were not out.
Yes.
Okay, now like we are getting close to end of time. So I want like what now? For example, what are the solutions? One, what is your vision? What do you want for Goa without double tracking? Without, I don't know. If you could just tell us. See, these are problems. A lot of issues have happened. What are the solutions? Because I just want to add, just want to add this, because ultimately it is tourism that is sustaining Goa. See, pharma, XYZ, all that is very limited, but the general population, it is tourism, and Goa is known for its XYZ. Its unique selling points are XYZ. It's got nothing more. It doesn't have some like it's not a Dubai or it's not it's not a it's Goa.
You see, Dubai has a created market.
Correct.
Goa has a natural God-given market to sell.
At least for now.
As of now, believe me,
Yes.
the right thing. We don't know how long.
Yeah.
But what I say is that we in Goa, yes, mining was giving a good benefit. Yes, it stopped because it had to stop. They were going beyond the
Yes,
whole,
illegalities.
yeah.
Yes.
Casinos came up. Yes. Now they say casinos are supporting the government. Wow.
Supporting the
Nice.
government. That's a loaded
Nice.
statement.
Very nice, very interesting. I say tourism has to be given a priority. And when I say tourism, when it comes to the portfolio of tourism, somebody who knows has to be given charge. And that person has to create a team of people who know how to handle it and do it. What is the tourism thing that is happening today? You go up Baga, Kalangur, it's a mess.
Why Kalakud? You come to Panjim, it's a mess.
So, you know, we should really seriously give a thought on tourism and work around that and do it in a proper way. That is what is going to sell for Goa, and that is what is going to generate money for Goa. Not coal. No. Don't bring coal. Do that.
But it will destroy tourism. You feel coal and all this thing, whatever is happening. Will it destroy
For
the
me-
USP of Goa, brand Goa?
100%. 100%. 100%. Look at the beaches. Coal is just floating around everywhere. Is that something that you want to see? When you come as a tourist, you go to the water and you see coal.
Also, another thing, and maybe I'm going out on a limb and saying this, but this is my opinion, like the type of the numbers are coming in, but these are not people who are paying. See, I'll tell you why. Because now you're talking about Baga, and I'm talking about the capital city, and where our late Chief Minister's memoriam is there, all that. You go there, buses will be parked, guys come out with their onions, they come out with their potatoes, the gas, and they'll be cooking on the road.
Yeah.
On the road. In fact, in parts of India, like in Gujarat, Bombay, Delhi, diesel is about, there's a difference, 5, 6 rupees, 7 rupees difference between Goa and there. So they'll bring all their food, they eat here, they drink here, they'll go to wholesale and buy liquor from whose manufacturers are not Goan. And they put diesel here and they go back. So what do these type of tourists give for Goa? Nothing, according to me. I don't know, you may agree, you may disagree. People who are going to spend are not going to come if you find all these things,
These
right?
tourists
Do you agree
give
or not?
absolutely nothing. First of all, when these things happen, where is the machinery checking on them?
Ah,
Nobody.
good point, yes.
Nobody is checking.
Correct.
Things are highlighted, nobody takes action. When you know that such things are happening all the time, I would say, like it's done internationally, arrange a place
Yes.
where they can
there's
go,
talk about it,
park,
factually,
then do it.
Yes.
Secondly, if you realize the tourists that are coming today, are our taxi drivers getting any benefit from it? No.
Nothing.
They're coming with their own vehicle.
Most of them.
Do the taxi drivers get benefit when they come by aircraft? No, they're hiring a renter car. So those companies are only earning from it. Where are they staying?
Villas,
Small
apartments.
places here and there. What are the hotels doing? Government has not structured on the number of hotels and resorts allowed in a certain area. They've just given rampant permissions. The database of number of people coming in has not increased multifold to the database or the
tourists.
inventory of the rooms available. That is why the hotels are running 50%, 60%, not doing full.
But what I'm saying is, yes, I totally agree with this point. What I'm saying is that the type of tourism that is coming in, will the type of tourism who pays, say, 1,000, 2,000 for lunch to a local, to so many of the local restaurants, so many are there, like for example, you know, wherever, in your place there's, so I think Nostalgia, so many, locally run, they pay 1,000 plus. Will this type of people come with your double tracking, coal, or will these busloads come? This is my point.
For
specific.
me, it will be the busloads that will come. And honestly, that type of tourism is not going to generate anything for Goa.
For Goa and Goans.
No.
Not even for the taxi drivers.
No
So
way,
much.
no way. They're coming in their bus, they're just going everywhere in their bus. Nothing. Our taxi drivers will start crying on this. But
Why only taxi drivers? I think
restaurants,
hotels.
all over. Like, yes, you rightly said about the people, yes. At Nostalgia, I've seen a lot of tourists do come, and they come in their own cars, they come and eat and they spend. Do you
Correct.
understand? So this is what it is. But the whole double tracking for me has to stop.
Although it's going to be
It is not going to benefit us in any way. It is just going to benefit two entities which are
So basically you're saying it's for coal. That's all.
100%.
So, and
100%.
there's no way this coal was going to get less or more, whatever. You don't think? At least not in our lifetime.
No. No way it's going to get less. It is going to get more.
Okay.
That is what I believe.
Okay. With this thing, I think we should wind up today. Arvind, thanks It was a pleasure. Thank you very much.
It was a pleasure talking to you, Glenn. Thank you so much.
Check it. And keep watching Goa 365.